Hello there, welcome back to Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. This is episode 180, and this time out we are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at Milwaukee County Stadium for game number 64 of the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Oldtimer Kings King of the Hill tournament. This one has the current Kings, the 1957 Milwaukee Braves taking on the 1950 New York Yankees. And before we get to the starting lineups and the start of the game, let's take a look at the status of the Hill. So the Braves got to 500 by defeating the Pirates in game number 63, taking on the Yankees, who have 8 wins, 2 wins away from reaching the Goodell Cup Finals. And we have the 53 Dodgers on deck with the 65 Twins in the hole. All right, starting lineups for this one. First, for the visiting 1950 Yankees, leading off in left field is Gene Woodling. Batting second, shortstop Phil Rizzuto. Batting third, Yogi Berra, he's behind the plate. Batting fourth, center fielder Joe DiMaggio. Batting fifth, John Mize, he's at first base. Batting sixth, Billy Johnson at third. Batting seventh, right fielder Hank Bauer. Batting eighth, Jerry Coleman at second base. And getting the start for the Yankees in this one is Tommy Byrne. In 1950, he was 15-9 with a 4.74 ERA. 203 innings pitched. He's a number 4 hitting pitcher, so he gets that card. Now for the current Kings, the 1957 Milwaukee Braves. Leading off in center field, Billy Bruton. Batting second at shortstop, Johnny Logan. Batting third, Eddie Matthews, he's at third base. Batting fourth, Hank Aaron in right field. Batting fifth is left fielder Wes Covington. Batting sixth, first baseman Joe Adcock. Red Shane East is at second base and bats seventh. Batting eighth is Del Crandall. He's the catcher. And on the hill and batting ninth is Bob Buhl. 1957, he was 18-7 with a 2.74 ERA. He's a number 1 hitting pitcher, so he'll get that card inserted into the lineup for him, and we are ready to get this thing underway. So Gene Woodling steps into the batter's box. Buhl has finished his warm-up tosses. And here's the first pitch. That's a ground ball to third baseman Eddie Matthews over to Joe Adcock, and we have 1 out. That brings up Phil Rizzuto. Pitch from Buhl. And Rizzuto hits one right up the middle for a 1-out single. Makes the turn, but he's going to hold it first. Man on first, 1 out for Yogi Berra. Excuse me. Here's the pitch. And it's a ground ball to third baseman Eddie Matthews. And they're going to go for the force play on Rizzuto at second. He tosses to Red Shandy's, and they get the force out there. For out number 2, Berra reaches first on the fielder's choice. There's a man on first with 2 outs for Joe DiMaggio. Buhl delivers. Inside, almost hit him. That's a 2-out walk. Berra moves up to second, so runners on first and second with 2 outs, and Johnny Mize. Pitch from Buhl. That's another walk. That loads him up. My. Base is loaded now with 2 outs. Third baseman Billy Johnson. Pitch. That's a ground ball to shortstop. Johnny Logan over to Joe Adcock to end the jam and get out of the inning. So no runs on 1 hit, no one left. And after 1/2 inning of play, it's the Yankees 0 and the Braves coming to bat. Bob Buhl gets his first fatigue point. Here's Tommy Byrne. He's going to face Billy Bruton first. Leadoff man for the Braves. Center fielder. Pitch from Byrne. It's a ground ball to first base. Mize is going to take that one unassisted. And there's one out. Shortstop Johnny Logan. Pitch. And that's a strikeout. First strikeout for Byrne. There are 2 away here in the bottom of the first. 2 outs, nobody on for third baseman Eddie Matthews. Pitch from Byrne. Low and outside, and we got a 2-out walk. So a man on first with 2 away, and right fielder Hank Aaron. Pitch. And Aaron gets a hold of this one to deep left field. That sends Gene Woodling back to the track, to the wall. It's way up out of here, gone. And that 2-out walk burns the Yankees. As Aaron sends one over the fence, and it is 2-0 Braves. So Byrne's going to get 2 fatigue points for that. Crowd here in County Stadium going wild. That one got out of here in a hurry. 2 outs, nobody on, because Aaron cleared the bases. And Wes Covington pitched from Byrne. It's a ground ball to first base. And Mize is going to toss to Byrne, covering the bag for the 3-1 put out to end the inning. But not before the Braves pick up 2 runs on 1 hit. And nobody left on. And after 1 complete, it's the Braves 2 and the Yankees nothing. And Byrne will pick up another fatigue point. All right, top of the second, 2-0 favor of the Braves. Hank Bauer's the first batter. Here's the pitch from Buhl. It's a ground ball to third. That's going to be Matthews to Adcock, and there's 1 away. So 1 out, nobody on. Second baseman Jerry Coleman. Pitch from Buhl. Almost hit him. Jerry Coleman trots down to first base. And that's going to bring up pitcher Tommy Byrne. Byrne swinging away. Here's the pitch from Buhl. It's a catcher's card X. Del Crandall's a 2. And we roll a 5. And Byrne pops this one up. It's in fair territory right in front of home plate. Crandall makes the catch, and there are 2 away. So 2 outs, men on first. Back to the top of the order in Gene Woodling. Woodling is 0 for 1. Pitch from Buhl. It's a fly ball to center field. And Bill Bruton's under that. Makes the catch. That's it for the Yankees here in the top of the second. No runs, no hits. 1 man left on, and after 1.5, it's the Braves 2 and the Yankees nothing. Buhl picks up fatigue point number 2. And leading off things for the Braves here in the bottom of the second is first baseman Joe Adcock. Pitch from Byrne. Low and outside, and a leadoff walk. Braves made the Yankees pay last inning with the 2-out walk. This one comes with no outs and brings up Red Shandy's. Pitch from Byrne. Man, that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Byrne, and there is one away. So man on first with one out, and catcher Del Crandall. Pitch from Byrne. That's a ground ball to third baseman Billy Johnson. Over to Phil Rizzuto and to Johnny Mize at first. They get Crandall by a half step for the inning-ending double play. So that's it for the Braves here in the bottom of the second. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on. And with 2 innings in the books, it's the Braves 2, the Yankees nothing. Byrne will pick up another fatigue point. He's at 4. And for the Yankees here, top of the third, Phil Rizzuto is going to lead things off. He's 1 for 1. Reached on a single in the first and was forced out at second on a fielder's choice. Here's the pitch from Buhl. That's a fly ball to left field. And Wes Covington is under that, makes the catch. And there's one away. So 1 out, nobody on for Yogi Berra. Berra hitting to a fielder's choice in the top of the first. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. A lot of walks in this game. And we're only in the top of the third. So Berra trots down to first base after the free pass. So he's there with 1 out, and Joe DiMaggio. Pitch from Buhl. And that's a strikeout. First strikeout for Buhl, and there are 2 away. So 2 outs, a man on first, and Johnny Mize. Here's the pitch. Inside. And another walk. Can the Yankees make Bob Buhl and the Braves pay for this 2-out walk? Now there's runners on first and second with 2 outs. Billy Johnson, pitch from Buhl. He lifts this one to left field. And Wes Covington's under that for the final out here in the top of the third. The Yankees, no runs, no hits. 2 men left on. After 2.5, it's the Braves 2, Yankees nothing. Buhl picks up another fatigue point. That puts him at 3. Tommy Byrne, who is out 4 fatigue points, is going to face his counterpart, Bob Buhl, here in the bottom of the third. And here's the pitch from Byrne. Buhl lifts this one to right field. And Hank Bauer's under that, makes the catch, and there's one away. Back to the top of the order for the Braves and Billy Bruton. Bruton's 0 for 1. Pitch from Byrne. Bruton gets underneath this one. It's going to stay in the infield. And Johnny Mize is under that in fair territory near the first base bag and makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 outs, nobody on for shortstop Johnny Logan. Logan's 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Pitch from Byrne. Fly ball to center field. Joe DiMaggio's under that. And the Braves go 1, 2, 3. So no runs, no hits, no one left on. 3 innings complete, and the Braves lead this one 2-0. Tommy Byrne gets another fatigue point. That puts him at 5. Buhl, who's at 3, is out here for the top of the 4th. Leading things off for the Yankees will be Hank Bauer. Bauer's 0 for 1. Pitch from Buhl. Ground ball back to Buhl. He jogs over towards first base, tosses underhand to Joe Adcock. And And there's one out here in the top of the fourth. That brings up Jerry Coleman. Braves lead 2-0. Pitch from Buhl. It's a ground ball to second baseman Red Shandy's over to Joe Adcock. 4-3 put out, and there are 2 away. That's going to bring up the pitcher's spot, Tommy Byrne. Pitch from Buhl. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3. Or no, excuse me, number 2. For Buhl. Yankees go down 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no one left on. 3.5 in the books. Braves 2, Yankees nothing. Buhl picks up fatigue point number 4. And bottom of the fourth here, leading things off for the Milwaukee Braves is third baseman Eddie Matthews. Matthews reached on a walk in the top of the first and eventually scored on Hank Aaron's blast to left field. Here's the pitch from Byrne. It's a ground ball to first base. And Johnny Mize is going to take that unassisted for the first out. So 1 out, nobody on for Hank Aaron. He got the Braves on the board, top of the first, with his 2-run home run over the head of Gene Woodling. Here's the pitch. That's a ground ball to third base. Billy Johnson over to Johnny Mize. And there are 2 away. So 2 outs, nobody on for Wes Covington. Braves left fielder. Pitch from Byrne. And Covington gets a hold of this one. Once again, Gene Woodling's direction. And he just watches this one go over his head. It's way up, out of here, gone. Another home run for the Braves here at Milwaukee County Stadium. And it's 3-0. A 2-out blast gives Byrne his 6th fatigue point. And that's going to bring up Joe Adcock. Pitch from Tommy Byrne. Inside and a 2-out walk. Both pitchers giving quite a few free passes in this one. So there's a man on first with 2 away, and that brings up second baseman Red Shandy's. He struck out his first time up. Here's the pitch from Byrne. It's a ground ball to second baseman Jerry Coleman. Over to Johnny Mize for the 3rd out. But not before the Braves go deep again on Wes Covington's solo shot. So 1 run on 1 hit. And a man left on. And after 4 innings, it's the Braves 3. And the Yankees nothing. Byrne picks up fatigue point number 7. So Buhl's out here for the top of the 5th with a 3-run lead. And it's the top of the order for the Yankees. Gene Woodling. Woodling is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. But he puts this one between the shortstop and third baseman. And it's a leadoff single for Gene Woodling. So he's there at first, nobody out, and Phil Rizzuto. Scooter's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch from Buhl. And that's 2 singles in a row as Rizzuto goes up the middle. And now it's first and second with nobody out. And the Yankees are threatening with catcher Yogi Berra coming to the plate. Pitch from Buhl. It's a ground ball to third baseman. And they get the force at second on Rizzuto. That allows Woodling to move to third. Yogi Berra, for the second time in this game, reaches on a fielder's choice. So now there's runners on the corners with 1 out and Joe DiMaggio. The Braves have the infield at regular depth. And here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to third base, and it's going to be an X check for Eddie Matthews, who's a 2. And we roll a 4. And that's a diving stop by Matthews. His only play is to first base, where they get DiMaggio on the 5-3 putout. That allows Gene Woodling to score. And Berra moves up to second. So the Yankees are on the board. And Buhl picks up his 5th fatigue point. So it's now 3-1 with 2 outs and a man on second here in the top of the 5th. So that brings up Johnny Mize. Pitch from Buhl. Inside, almost hit him, and another walk. So now we got runners on first and second with 2 outs. The Yankees trail 3-1. Third baseman Billy Johnson comes to the plate. Pitch from Buhl. It's a fly ball to left field. And it's going to be an X check for Wes Covington. He's a 4. And we roll an 18. Yeah, we got to roll again. And yet again. And Covington misplays that one. It gets past him. And that's going to tie this game up. Yes, it's going to tie this game up. That is an error on Wes Covington out there in left field. Ball gets by him and by everyone. Berra scores. Johnny Mize scores. We are tied. And Johnson slides into third base with a 3-base, 2-out error committed by Wes Covington. First error of the game. And we are tied at 3. So 2 more fatigue points for Bob Buhl. He puts him at 7. And the game is tied. Although all of those runs are unearned, excuse me. So 2 outs, nobody on. Game tied at 3, and Hank Bauer comes to the plate. He hits a ground ball to shortstop Johnny Logan over to Joe Adcock for the final out of this inning. But it was a rough one for the Braves. 3 runs on 2 hits and 1 man left on. And after 4.5, we are tied at 3. And Buhl is going to pick up another fatigue point. He had been cruising. All right, Tommy Byrne at 7 fatigue points out here for the bottom of the 5th. It's going to be the bottom of the order with Del Crandall, catcher, leading things off. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Byrne. Another walk. And Crandall heads down to first base. That's going to bring up Bob Buhl. And Buhl squares around the bunt. Perfect bunt right in front of the pitcher's mound. Only play for Byrne is to go to first base to get Buhl. So the sacrifice is successful as Crandall moves up to second. So there's a man on second with one out. Back to the top of the order for the Braves and center fielder Billy Bruton. Pitch from Byrne. And right up the middle goes Bruton. Crandall moves to third. We got runners on the corners with one out. And Johnny Logan. Yankees are bringing the infield in. Pitch from Byrne. It's a ground ball to shortstop. And let's see here, because the infield is in, they hold up. A nice play by Rizzuto. Freezes Crandall. At third base. Bruton does move up to second. And they get Logan on the 6-3. Put out for the second out. So nice play by Phil Rizzuto. Prevents another run for the Braves. And there are now two outs. Runners are on the corners. And Eddie Matthews. Eddie Matthews hits a hot line shot, but right at Phil Rizzuto to end the inning and prevent any more runs for the Braves. And we remain tied now. On the line out to short. So, the Braves threaten, but no runs on one hit. Two men left on. And after 5 complete, we are tied at 3. Byrne gets fatigue point number 8. Buhl is at 8 already. Or excuse me, that can't be right. Yes, that is correct. How can Buhl be at 8 already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So, top of the 6th, leading things off in this tie game for the Yankees is Jerry Coleman. Coleman gets underneath this one. It's going to stay in the infield. And Johnny Logan makes the catch for out number 1. That brings up Tommy Byrne. Byrne is 0 for 2. Pitch from Buhl. It's a ground ball to short. It's going to be an X check for Johnny Logan. He is a 3, and we roll a 1. And Logan can't make a play on that one, and it's a 1-out single for pitcher Tommy Byrne. So he's there at first base with 1 away. Back to the top of the order for the Yankees. And Gene Woodling, here's the pitch. Guess what? Low and inside, and another walk. Now the Yankees have the go-ahead run in scoring position. It's first and second with 1 out. And Phil Rizzuto. Rizzuto's 0 for 3. Or excuse me, 1 for 3. No, 2 for 3. Here's the pitch. And this is going to get the Yankees in the lead as Rizzuto hits one in the right field. Byrne comes around third. He scores. The Yankees take the lead. Woodling moves up to second. He's going to hold there. No, he's going to head to third. And Rizzuto. RBI single. There's still only one out. We got runners on the corners, and the Yankees now lead 4-3. That's going to bring up Yogi Berra. The Braves are bringing the infield in. Here's the pitch. It's a fly ball to left field, but it's an X check for Wes Covington. Covington is a 4, and we roll a 13. And he cannot get to that one. So Berra. It's an RBI single as Woodling comes around to score. It's now 5-3 in favor of the Yankees, and runners are still on the corners with only one out. And Joe DiMaggio has the tide turned quickly in this one. And there's a little bit of activity out there because Buhl's picked up his 9th fatigue point. And Gene Conley's warming up for the Braves. Now we got runners on the corners, one out. Joe DiMaggio infield is at normal depth. Here's the pitch. Low and inside. Another walk. And the bases are loaded. Still only one out. Johnny Mize comes to the plate. Conley's not quite ready yet, so this is Buhl's battle to get or to fight out of. Here's the pitch. And he walks a run in. Almost hits Mize. Everybody moves up 90. Phil Rizzuto scores. And it's now 6-3 in favor of the Yankees. Buhl picks up fatigue point number 10. And his day is done. That's it for Buhl. New pitcher for the Braves is Gene Conley. And in 1957, Conley was 9-9 with a 3.16 ERA, 148 innings pitched. And the first batter he's going to face is Billy Johnson. All right, so the bases are loaded. Still only one out. Buhl is responsible for all those runs that are on base. And infield is back at normal depth. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to second baseman Red Shandies. Over to Johnny Logan. And in turn to Joe Adcock for the 4-6-3 inning and rally ending double play. Get Mize forced at second. But the Yankees do pick up 3 runs. And now lead this one 6-3. I know it was only 1/3 of the inning, but Gene Conley does pick up a fatigue point. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 6th. Yankees now leading 6-3. And Tommy Byrne's still out there. He's going to face Hank Aaron first. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to Phil Rizzuto over to Johnny Mize. There's one away. So one out, nobody on for Wes Covington. Pitch from Byrne. Fly ball to center field. And Joe DiMaggio's under that, makes the catch. 2 outs, nobody on. First baseman Joe Adcock. Pitch from Byrne. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Tommy Byrne. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits. No one left on. 6 in the books, and it's the Yankees 6 and the Braves 3. Fatigue point number 9 for Tommy Byrne. And Gene Conley's out here for the bottom of the 6th. It's going to be, or excuse me, top of the 7th. I apologize. It's going to be Hank Bauer, Jerry Coleman, and Tommy Byrne, or the pitcher spot. See how this goes. Here's the pitch from Conley. That's a ground ball to Johnny Logan over to Joe Adcock for the first out. So 1 out, nobody on. Here in the top of the 7th, Yankees lead 6-3, and Jerry Coleman, here's the pitch. It's a catcher's card X. Del Crandall's a 2, and we roll a 4. And Coleman gets under that one. And in foul territory, Crandall with the mask off makes the catch. And there are 2 away. So 2 outs, nobody on. And Tommy Byrne's going to come to the plate. Here's a pitch from Conley. And Byrne gets his second hit. This one goes into left field. And Covington misplays that one, or misjudges that one, I should say. And Tommy Byrne with the second hit. This time it's a 2-out double. So he's in scoring position with 2 away. Back to the top of the order for the Yankees. Gene Woodling, here's the pitch. That's a ground ball to second base. It's going to be Shandy's over to Adcock for the 3rd out. No runs. 1 hit. 1 man left on. And as we go to the stretch, it's the Yankees 6 and the Braves 3. All right. Conley's going to pick up second fatigue point, and leading things off for the Braves here in the bottom of the 7th is Red Shandy's. Pitch from Byrne. And it's a ground ball to second baseman Jerry Coleman over to Johnny Mize, and there's 1 away. There is some activity in the Braves bullpen. And it's Bob Trowbridge warming up for the Braves. So there's 1 out, nobody on. And Del Crandall, Braves catcher, he is 0 for 2, or 0 for 1 with a walk. Here's the pitch. That's a 1-out single for Crandall. Makes the turn, but he holds it first. That's going to bring up the pitcher spot, and Gene Conley's day is going to be done. Going to have a pinch hitter. And it's going to be Frank Torrey, excuse me. So he'll be batting for Conley here. The man on first and 1 out. All right. Whitey Ford is warming up for the Yankees. Here's the pitch from Byrne. And it's a ground ball to second baseman Jerry Coleman over to Phil Rizzuto and to Johnny Mize for the 6-4-3 inning and rally killing double play. So now that's not inning, excuse me. Yes, it is inning ending. All right. For the Braves, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on. And after 7, it's the Yankees 6 and the Braves 3. As mentioned, Bob Trowbridge is the new pitcher for the Braves. And in 1957, he was 7-5 with a 3.64 ERA, 126 innings pitched. And he's going to face Phil Rizzuto first here in the top of the 8th. Yankees lead 6-3. Let me get Trowbridge's name in here. All right, and here's the pitch to Rizzuto. It's a ground ball to third baseman Eddie Matthews. Over to Adcock at first, and there's 1 away here in the top of the 8th. Brings up Yogi Berra. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to right field. And Hank Aaron's under that for the second out here in the top of the 8th. Bases empty, 2 away. Joe DiMaggio. Here's the pitch. And another fly ball, this time to left fielder Wes Covington. And that's it for the Yankees. They go 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no one left on. 7.5 in the books. Yankees 6. Braves 3. Trowbridge gets his first fatigue point. Byrne's coming out here with the 3-run lead in the bottom of the 8th. Whitey Ford is ready down in the bullpen for the Yanks. And it's the top of the order for the Braves. Center fielder Billy Bruton. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to first base. Johnny Mize is going to take that unassisted for the first out. So 1 out, nobody on. And shortstop Johnny Logan. Pitch from Byrne. It's a ground ball to short. It's an X-check for Rizzuto. Scooter's a 1. We roll a 9. Diving stop by Rizzuto from his knees. Fires over to Johnny Mize. And there's 2 away. So 2 outs, nobody on. And third baseman Eddie Matthews. Pitch from Byrne. And that's a strikeout. So Byrne didn't need any help from the bullpen. That's strikeout number 4 for Tommy. Braves go 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no one left on. 8 innings completed, and it's the Yankees 6 and the Braves 3. Byrne gets fatigue point number 10. So he is running out of steam. Bob Trowbridge is out here for the top of the 9th for the Braves. First batter is going to be Johnny Mize. Yankees lead this one 6-3. Here's the pitch. And that's a strikeout. First strikeout for Trowbridge. There's 1 away. Brings up Billy Johnson. Here's the pitch. That's a 1-out single for Johnson. His first hit of the game. So he's there at first base with 1 out. Hank Bauer. Here's the pitch from Trowbridge. It's a fly ball to right field. And Hank Aaron's under that for the second out. Man on first, 2 away. And second baseman Jerry Coleman. Pitch from Trowbridge. It's a ground ball to second baseman Red Shandies over to Joe Adcock. 4-3. Put out for the final out. No runs on 1 hit, 1 man left. As we go to the bottom of the ninth, the Yankees lead 6-3. Tommy Byrne's coming out here. Now, Whitey Ford's ready if he needs any assistance. It's going to be the heart of the order for the Braves. Leading off is Hank Aaron. Forgot to give Trowbridge his second fatigue point. Here's the pitch. Aaron gets underneath this one. It's going to stay in the infield. Billy Johnson's under it over there at third base and makes the catch for the first out. So nobody on, one out for Wes Covington. He's gone yard today. He's also had a rough time of things out there in left field. Here's the pitch to Covington. That's a one-out single. So the Braves are in business. Man on first, one away, Joe Adcock. They trail 6-3. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a catcher's card X check for Del Crandall. Or excuse me, for Yogi Berra. He's a 2. We roll a 4. And Adcock gets under this one. Berra, mask off, right in front of home plate, in fair territory, makes the catch for the second out. And Red Shandies is going to be the last chance for the Braves. They trail 6-3, 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth. Tommy Byrne going for the complete game win. Here's the pitch. And Shandies lifts this one to center field, sends Joe DiMaggio back to the track where he makes the catch for the final out. So no runs on one hit. One man left for the Braves, and this one is in the books. The Yankees win it 6-3. Get to 9 wins, 1 win away from reaching the Goodell Cup Finals to take on the Indians. Let's get some totals for you here. Yankees 6 runs on 7 hits. No errors. The Braves 3 runs on 5 hits. Not a lot of hits in this one, but a lot of walks. And the Braves did commit 1 error. The winning pitcher is Tommy Byrne. And the loss goes to... When did Conley come in? The 7th. Loss goes to Bob Buhl. So the Yankees go to 9-6, 1 win away from reaching the finals. They'll take on the Brooklyn Dodgers in game number 65 of this tournament. If you hung out with me today, I appreciate it. And I'll be back again in the near future with another video. And until then, take care.